Okay, so today, guys, we are going to be installing a new oil pan on the MR2. Okay, so now let's talk about why we're actually going to be switching the oil pan from this to this. So if you look inside here, there is some slight baffling from factory, but it's just not enough to keep the oil where it needs to when you're pushing these cars and these engines through turns and putting the G-forces on them. That is what ends up starving them. If you look inside here, the Kinetic oil pan literally looks like an entire maze and a trap. There is moving flaps down here that end up keeping the oil inside where the pump actually is, to make sure there's oil there no matter where you're turning, how fast you're going, how fast you're turning the car. It keeps all the oil in a centralized area so that when it comes time for you to go through those turns, you have oil to go through the rest of the engine, preventing starving and preventing the downfall of your engine. So as you can see, it's all around a beefier design. Everything's kind of more well put together. Everything's welded nicely. You know, like I said, it looks like a whole maze. Actually, really in any car, if you're going to be doing any kind of high-speed racing, some cars come from factory with baffled oil pans, and matter of fact, most cars come with baffling in the oil pan. However, sometimes not enough. So for instance, let's say this represents your oil pan, and the bolt here represents the oil pump, or the pickup tube. So right now, your car's level, everything's fine, the oil here is all good. Now, what happens if you take a high-speed turn? Do you see how all the oil is moving away from that pickup tube? Now, what'll happen if that happens is your oil ends up not getting to the important parts in the engine. Basically, you starve your engine. So, by adding little trap doors, which I don't have anything to show you, it keeps the oil all around the sump or the pickup tube so that you're able to take the turns at high speeds and not have to worry about losing oil or starving your engine. Now, the 1ZZ and the 2ZZ are known for this. This is a common issue with them at taking high-speed turns. Okay, so it's very late at night right now. We've been working on this for quite some time. We did get it to fit. Essentially, there's certain stud placements. So I'm going to show you right now. When you're putting this on, the aftermarket studs, one has to go right here so if this is the back of the car right here, you're looking at the oil pan. This is where one stud has to go. The other stud has to go adjacent to it right over here. And then the next stud has to go diagonally towards the back left of the car right here. You line it up first by putting it in towards the crank, the flywheel. Inside there, it doesn't touch, surprisingly. It's very, very close, but that's how the original was too. So once you get everything sat in here nicely, because like I said, we didn't really film it a whole lot because there was a lot going on and a lot of, you know, getting ready to quit and call it a night. So once you get everything in, get everything lined up, the threads are gonna feel tight on some of these bolts because it's kind of cutting into the oil pan. It's not perfectly made, it's handmade, but it's gonna get the job done we need for the track. So what you're gonna be doing is you're gonna be having to torque these constantly, go back and forth to 9 foot-pounds. You're gonna have to check it 4, 5, 6 times because you'll get everything tight over here, and by the time you end it over here, everything over here has become loose again. It's all about getting it set because it's very tightly made. You have the RTV that's fighting you, cutting into the bolt. It's just a very meticulous process. You have to constantly keep torquing front to back, and you know, all that kind of stuff. So now we're gonna go ahead and kind of finish it up, and then it has to sit overnight. They recommend for about 24 hours for the RTV to cure, and then we'll go ahead and return in the morning to show you the oil change. We have one of the fittings right here we have to put in, and then your drain fitting right here. So we're gonna go ahead and put those in and call it a night, and we'll see you guys in the morning. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it has been exactly 2 weeks since we installed this Kinetic oil pan, baffled oil pan, I should say. So I have done no cleaning up to it. What I did was after I finished installing it, I went ahead and put, well, this light's pretty much dead, it doesn't really help, but I threw this cover back on because you should keep some kind of covering back here due to your flywheel being open. But basically, everything's looking good. The RTV is holding up totally fine. There's no oil leaks anywhere. Oil level has not changed. You know, it is just been good. So this is the 2-week update. I might do one more, maybe, I don't know, I kind of want to get this video out. But yeah, I highly recommend, especially if your MR2 is going to touch the track at all and you have the 1ZZ, you definitely, or a 2ZZ, you definitely need one of these oil pans. So I highly recommend. I got mine off of Monkey Wrench, but there's a bunch of other places that sell them too. You can buy them straight from them. But yeah, highly recommend. Go ahead and get yourself one of these and follow instructions off of their website, and don't be hesitant to use Spider Chat because believe me, you're gonna need it. Okay, so it's been a couple weeks. The engine oil pan is good. We have not had any issues, no leaking, no nothing. The seals work out pretty good. So as long as you install everything correctly and you make sure that the oil pan is not touching the flywheel over there, you do everything you're supposed to with the RTV, with the studs in the correct order, everything works out good. So I highly recommend this as your first mod you're going to do if you plan on tracking your MRS. So thank you guys for watching, and have a good day.